Is there a difference between leadership and women in leadership?
We had this conversation earlier, kind of talking about the barriers to entry for women leaders, right? And there was a time where, in order to, step into a leadership position, you had to act like a man, right? That was part of the game plan in order to kind of step in that space. And I think I am incredibly lucky that I'm following in the footsteps of, even like the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, that have shown that you can show up as yourself and use kind of maybe what traditionally has been seen as weaknesses. We're starting to recognize our strengths, right? Our ability to bring people together, our empathy, our warmth, right? Creating a safe environment for our companies and our teams so that we can really push forward on innovation. And so I know there was some conversation around failure, right? As a part of success, right? If you don't fail, then you're not pushing the envelope, then you cannot innovate. And so I bristle at the idea of there's this women leaders versus male leaders, because I think at the end of the day, we should be cultivating, and I heard this somewhere else, but the things that we value in our children that we're trying to teach them, kindness, empathy, all of these things, those are the qualities that we should be valuing in our leaders as well. And I think at the end of the day, the more diversity of viewpoints that we have around the leadership table, I think it's creating, a better environment, not only for women, but also for men, right? To have a space where you can show up authentically as who you are, where you don't have to pretend, where it's okay to say, I don't know, it's okay to ask questions, because at the end of the day, that is what pushes people and companies to do better. And I think there's phenomenal research on the success and the leadership of women at companies, and it actually translates into better profitability and financial results.
Yeah.
So I don't like differentiating, I guess, to specifically answer your question, but I think we should turn it and talk about the unique value proposition of women and how we can change how leadership is being perceived and what it looks like going forward, right? Recognizing that there's a bunch of different ways to lead and there's a bunch of different ways to be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love that response. And you're in an incredible situation where, again, you're at the top of your organization, right? You're the president of Current Energy. So you're able to look at your team, everybody that's in it. And I'm curious for you as an executive that's in this position, do you see any differences when it comes to, women that are in the workplace that are working for you and men? Do you see any differences? Do you think they're all the same? Or I'm just curious what you're seeing, because I know from knowing you and my perception that there's plenty of opportunity, right? But I'm just curious if you see like self-sabotage, or I just want to hear your thoughts on that.
I don't know that I specifically see a difference. I think America Ferrera had this wonderful viral moment where she was talking about imposter syndrome and what a terrible phrase that is, because the reality is, oftentimes these were hostile places for women leaders. And there was this amazing commercial from years ago. I think it was for Talbot's. And there was this older woman and a younger woman, and they were doing a performance evaluation. And the older woman said to the younger woman, some people said you were bossy. And the younger woman said, thank you. And the older woman kind of went like this and was like, you're welcome, right? And so this idea that, when men are leading, they are assertive and they are leaders. And when women are leading, they are being, bossy or calculating or all of these things. And so I think sometimes it's just a reframe and, being that power to transform the space, to see that women have these capabilities, that they can do incredible things. And I think when it comes to, your team and how you lead an organization, the higher you go, the more important it becomes how you empower and what you get out of the people that you work with and that are underneath you, right? My goal is to surround myself by people that are much smarter than me, because we have a hell of a lot better chance of being successful. And so thinking about how you're empowering people, how you are lifting them up, how you believe in them, because I think oftentimes people rise to your expectations of them. And so I think when I look at my team, we have, our leadership team is half women. Our ownership is half women. And so I think having that diversity, having those viewpoints around the table is encouraging and creates a space for people to be successful regardless of their gender.
Yeah, I love that. That's a fabulous answer.